Let's hear what you got.
All right. For these lips.
Wrap it up.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Erin. So let's not waste no time. Let's go ahead and hop right into these insane rent prices, part 2 in the year 2025.
Much y'all paying for rent because rent got too expensive. Like, I just saw this house I wanted for $2,700 a month. Like, why is it $2,700 a month?
I say this all the time. Why is it that the second we become adults, apartments is $15,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but when we was teenagers and kids, people was paying $400, $500, $600 for apartments and houses. Why times have to change for us? What we do?
Like, no, baby, $1,200 a month even too expensive. Like, wait a minute, how do we even get here? I'm gonna move back to the hood where you had to put the roach pads down and fog the house. Because when we was little growing up, baby, roaches never bothered nobody. Roaches was never a big deal unless they came out while you had a visitor. That's the only time they was embarrassing, bitch. Yeah, like, unless you cut on the light in the kitchen at night.
So my monthly rent was just increased by $200. I'm now going to pay $2,300 for a 600-something square foot, 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. And it's not worth that. We have unfriendly staff, I don't get notified packages, or air conditioning barely works.
I'm starting to think that Audacity is on sale because they got some nerve to think that it's okay for them to raise that rent that much, knowing that it's things that they are not doing. It ain't no way that you should not have AC in your unit. There's no way that you should not feel comfortable to get on the elevator somewhere where you're paying all of this money. Ain't no way.
I feel like the elevators are going to fall apart every time I step in them, and the list goes on and on. But the point is, I am barely surviving in this economy as it is, and 90% of my paycheck goes to my rent, my groceries, other basic needs. That's awful. And then now my apartment's trying to take 100% of my paycheck for rent. I don't have to be a math genius to know that this isn't going to work out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will not be re-signing my lease unless my apartment complex would like to reconsider.
My rent is going up almost $300 a month, okay?
I don't know if it's just me, but do it seem like all of the properties just came together and said, hey, let's raise everybody's rent $300? I'm really starting to see a pattern. Or is it just me? Hit the comment section below and let me know y'all thoughts.
I'm confused. I'm lost, dumbfounded. Everywhere in my city, everybody going up in apartments, okay? These are just 1-bedrooms. I pay $1,100 a month for 1 bedroom right now. If I resign my lease, it'd be $1,300, okay? Not including maintenance fees, not including all the utilities and all that stuff. But it's all said and done, I'll be spending $1,600, $1,700 to live there, okay? When it's all said and done. My thing is, what do these landlords think we're making out here?
They know what we making because when we did the application, they seen how much we was bringing in. I don't think they care. All they care about is us having that money on the first. They don't care what we got to do to get it. And that is why people is out here working themselves to death. 2 full-time jobs, a part-time job, and gig work. No matter how much they try to normalize that, that is not normal. It will never be normal. I don't care how many people was doing it. It's just not normal.
Okay? Everybody not making all that kind of money like this. I'm a truck driver. As you can see, I'm in the truck right now. Truck drivers don't get raises, okay? We don't get raises. I barely made enough to make 3 times the rent already. But now it's just going up. I don't know what's going to happen. I make $4 grand a month. I don't know. Well, I make that, but after taxes and all that, you know how that goes. It's about 36, something like that. I won't be able to afford that place anymore I live at right now. So I got to move. I'm probably considering living in my truck, maybe. Might get a hotel rooms on weekends. If I get a hotels on weekends, I spend $580 a month just for Saturdays to Sundays. That saved me a lot of money, over $1 grand a month, just doing that. Cause I'm gone most of the time anyway.
It's another thing too. We are paying $1,500 to $2,500 a month in rent for apartments that we don't be in because we have to be at work sun up to sundown just to be able to afford it. The system is rigged against us.
But my big concern is I don't know where these landlords, how they think we out here making all this money to raise the rent down high. We got layoffs going on, and the federal workers are getting laid off, and it just, things gotta change. You know, I just I refuse to pay that much for one bedroom. So I'm not doing that. I've been looking around my city. A lot of folks moving in the city, so I guess, you know, supply and demand is what raised the prices up. But I've been in my city my whole life, and they trying to push us out. I'd rather be straightforward and say that we're gonna push everyone that's a native of this city, who's born and raised here. We're gonna push y'all out and want everybody to come in here and say raise prices. I'd rather be straightforward and just say that, okay, than just raising prices and we just all confused. All right. I mean, it's just crazy to me. But I probably might live in my truck, get hotel rooms on the weekends, save a lot of money that way. Cause this year I'm trying to save 20 grand. And a lot of folks can't save 1 grand because they got all the bills, and like I said, rent prices are going up and food prices going up, clothes, everything's going up in America right now. Okay, there's no relief anywhere, it seems like. And I don't think it'll be a relief anytime soon. So I gotta be prepared, trying to save some money up, because money is king, and I gotta make it happen. What you gotta think about this? This is getting insane. I mean,
how much is my high-rise apartment here in New York? Okay, so I'm gonna answer your question. First of all, thank you so much for the congrats. But before I answer your question, I just wanna give a quick little disclaimer. I am fully aware that what I'm paying is high, and if I was to move to the Midwest or the South, I would be paying what I'm paying in rent here for a mortgage of a beautiful house, I'm fully aware. So I just don't want anyone to come in my comments and give me like a long lecture or tell me that what I'm paying is too high, because I do live in New York City, so I'm kind of used to it. And before moving in here, I explored all options. I explored buying a condo, buying an apartment, or buying a home. And the best option for me right now for my lifestyle is still renting. So I just wanted to give you that quick little disclaimer. But how much do I pay for my apartment? My apartment it's like 800 and something square feet, 1 bed, 1 bath, and I paid $27.25. I also have a parking spot and an amenities fees, which is extra.
Such a good nap for I don't even know how long. I think it was only 30 minutes. It couldn't have been that long. That shit felt so good that I just woke up and didn't know what day it was. You look a little closer, you got a little eye boogie right there. That shit around. But that's besides the point. I think the average 1 bedroom at the rate that we're going is gonna be $2,000. I've been looking for an apartment for a grip now, and if y'all want to know where I'm at, I'm in Delaware. Yeah, I know. Delaware? Like, who the fuck, where is that? Like, yeah, I get it. Sure, cool, that's funny. But nah, for real, I've been looking for this apartment so long, and I see so many prices and rules and regulations and requirements to get in. I can't even speak English. And I don't even know what's going on no more. I don't even know. I was talking to the lady today because I went to go see an apartment, and I said, yeah, you know, everything's just getting way more expensive. She said, yeah, you know, it's not us, it's just that it's reflecting the market. Damn. I don't even know, bro. I'm just chatting. Where there's a will, there's a way. I just think it's funny. And in the midst of it, the only thing that's getting a tiny bit cheaper, because nobody's going to really buy it because they can't afford it, is gas. Nobody's driving across country right now. That's a little bit cheaper than what it was. Shout out to the gas.
Okay, Southern California. Tap in with me. How do you guys pay for rent, mortgage out here? I want to know. How do you guys afford to live here in Southern California? Because I'm currently searching right now to move, and the prices are insane. And I just want to know, like, how do you guys really survive? Where I've lived for eons, and fortunately, I don't pay market rent. But it's time, and I'm like, whoa, how do people afford this? Sign me up. Let me know. Where do you guys, I mean, not where do you live per se, I don't need your address, but like, how do you afford to live? Are you guys roommating? live with your parents. I just want to know how do people really afford to live.
So our rent's going up by $300 a month. Like, we live in a normal ass looking apartment. Like, there's nothing fancy about it. Okay? When I moved here in August of 2018, we were paying $1,900 a month. And now they want us to pay $2,500.
I feel your pain, trust me, because the same thing happened to me in my last apartment, and that was one of the main reasons why I left. I refused to pay $500 more for the same apartment I've been had for years, where nothing is new in it. Nothing is different about this apartment. And if you ask me, the complex value has went down, because it seemed like they just started letting anybody move in. And y'all got the audacity to think I'm finna pay $2,000 a month. Get somebody else to do it.
Citing, building improvements and renovations and repairs and property taxes and water bills and all this other stuff. Oh, and inflation. Yeah, that's another one too. And it's crazy because like all the people that live in this building are all just like working class people. They're just working class people. Just people working, trying to do their thing, I called them. I called the property manager to talk to the office manager, to talk to everybody, right? And one of the things that they told me was, so you want us to lower your rent? Why? And it's incredible because it's like they don't see all the people that live in this building as people. They see them as numbers. They see them as numbers on a spreadsheet, which is lovely, I guess. I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of not being valued, of all of us not being valued as human beings, as people with feelings and, a desire for hope and a desire for I just don't know. I'd like, something's got to change. Something's got to give, because like we're all stuck in this loop.
I didn't realize is that it is more expensive for me to move somewhere cheaper. Like if I live somewhere with cheaper rent, I will be paying more. As many of you know, I've been apartment searching for a while, and part of the appeal of moving is getting more bang for your buck, duh. But what I keep forgetting is that paying a broker's fee ruins literally everything. Like here's how a logical thought process looks for a logical person who lives in a logical world, hypothetically. If I move to an apartment with cheaper rent and I did all of the work of finding the apartment myself, then I move, I'm paying cheaper rent, I pay less. But with a New York City broker's fee, let's do a quick math problem. If you assume your rent is $2,000 and you have a 15% broker's fee, that's $3,600 for the broker's fee. And even though you pay it up front, if you think about it like spread out over the year, it's like adding $300 every single month to your rent. So if you think about it, if I move somewhere that's cheaper than what I pay right now, but I have to pay the broker's fee, overall, I'm still gonna be paying more than what I pay right now, even though my rent will be cheaper. Like, do you see what I mean? It's like for the cheaper rent to actually be cheaper, you have to stay in that apartment for like 2-3 years. It's just interesting to think about because I feel a little bit stuck at the moment. It's like I want my rent to be cheaper, but for it to be cheap,
average rent in America is about to be $2,500 per month. That's for an average apartment. As of now, 2025, April, average rent is between $1,575-ish to $1,700. That's average. So if your rent $1,200, $1,300, average is taking all the rents and coming up with the average of all those numbers in different areas of America. So why is rent is about to increase like this? Tariffs. What does tariffs have to do with the rent? Well, if I buy something and it costs me more and it makes me less from the people that I'm selling it to or the consumer. So for instance, when you break everything down, it comes back to materials. So if I'm renting and my landlord have to do renovations, any type of maintenance to the home that I'm staying in that's theirs, say normally the renovation for that apartment, if he about to redo the bathroom or do anything, it costs him $5,000, $10,000, just throwing a number out there. Say it costs him $10,000. With the tariffs, now it costs him $15,000. You think he just gonna take that hit and let you continue to pay the same thing where he goes in a hole by the end of the year and don't make no profit no more? Or you think he's gonna increase the price of rent so it could make up for the extra money that he's spending? And sometimes people will increase it even more to where just because they got the advantage to do it.
I swear I was just finna say that. I understand what he's saying as far as, sometimes you have to raise it so you is making a profit and not necessarily breaking even. But let's talk about the ones who do it just because they can. I live by that saying, just because you can don't mean that you should. And there's more people out here that's raising it up just because they can versus people raising it up because they trying to offset other costs. That's the problem that we having. The greedy ones.
They going to make not only the money back from what they got to pay extra, but also some on top of that. That's like in 2020 or whenever inflation had hit hard. You had your local restaurants and stuff that went from selling the same plate for $7-8 to now $14 to $16 when shit ain't go up 100%.
And those be the same businesses that lose their regular customers because they're price gouging. Once again, people being greedy for no reason.
That plate should have went from $7 to $8 up to probably like $10, $9. They took that bitch from 7 to 8 to 14 to 15. Same thing with that situation. Instead of just taking your rent, what it's supposed to break him even from 15 to probably 16.50, he gonna take that bitch up to 18, 19. Pay attention to what's going on, guys. Trump had just imposed 35% tariffs on China last week. They retaliated to that. They said, excuse me, fuck that. We're gonna hit you right back. Trump like, oh nah, I'm the only one that can do that. You can't do what I do to you, basically. And like, hey, if you don't take that back and withdraw that shit, I'm gonna hit you with another 50% tariff. Additionally, and you got 24 hours, motherfucker. And imagine somebody threatening you and talking to you like that. You think you're gonna just bow down? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President. We take ours back, but let you still hit us across the head. Nah, you know exactly what he doing. It's intentional. They want to spread this gap between them and the poor. No middle group. So China gonna say fuck you and hit you with a 50% tariff. And then they's gonna be going back and forth till one of the motherfuckers get tired. Until they blow all this.
These apartments nowadays are just straight up wrong. I get what y'all went through during COVID and how people did y'all dirty, but you don't fight fire with fire. First of all, you're doing these credit checks, telling people their money has to be 3 times the month's rent. Why would they be coming to a little apartment complex if they had those kinds of funds, if they had good credit? Does that make sense to y'all? Now, somebody on benefits, Section 8, stuff like that, of course their credit isn't going to be great. Why are you even running their credit? Why do they need co-signers? Their co-signer is the state of New Jersey. Your rent is guaranteed. Like, this shit is...
So my rent here in Chicago is going to go up 9% if I decide to renew my lease for the following 12 months. Currently, I have a...
Yeah, I noticed how he didn't say how much their rent is, right? That's because it's already an arm and a leg. Chicago, no, they definitely be price gouging. And I know that personally.
A lease that goes from June 1st to June 1st. And they already sent me the renewal lease, and I just have to decide by late March. So they sent it yesterday, and I didn't look through the whole contract because I didn't have time. And then I looked at the numbers today, and I calculated them. Yeah, it was 9%, which is really high. I mean, not a lot of people are kind of making 9% more in their salary each year. I like this apartment, I like the location, but 9%, I'm going to have to just look at either Zillow or apartments.com just to see if there are any other better options.
Food is steady going up, and it's just like, damn, what do y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to live on the street in a box and, eat out the garbage and drink my spit? Because at this point, that's what I'm finna fucking do, because... No, I'm not gonna pay for no $2,000 apartment and I'm barely in it, motherfucker, because I'm always at work trying to keep the motherfucker. So, I don't know.
Let's hear what you got.
All right. Well, these lips.
Wrap it up.
Yo, what in the actual fuck is going on out here in Cali, man? Last year, my rent was $925. I just opened up this letter and it says your new rent amount is $2,300 starting on the 1st.
Now they know they dead wrong for that.
No upgrades, no renovations. They didn't even add a fucking washer and a dryer. This is crazy, man. I mean, is everybody else dealing with this? Or am I the only one getting screwed here?
As for the new developments in Mount Haven, I hope and pray that those units remain vacant. Because who is paying $2,500 for a studio apartment in the Bronx? I hope and pray to the Lord himself that all those units, or most of them, remain vacant. Yeah, vacant. Because it's absurd. The rent is so high here that I just don't understand. The people who live here, the average medium income does not equate to how much they are charging people to live Manhattan adjacent. That's it. That's all I hope and pray for this summer. Have a good summer.
This is a message to private landlords, property managers, apartment complexes everywhere. If you're charging $2,000 and your requirement is that I make 4 times that to prove to you that I can pay for this apartment, don't you fucking think if I was making $8,000 a month that I would just buy a fucking house and not be renting and getting ripped off? Like, the fact that people fucking put that on an application is so fucking crazy. Don't worry about how the fuck I'm gonna pay your rent. As long as I'm paying it, why the fuck is that a problem? Am I the only one that thinks this? Or I don't think that's like a radical thing, but like, apparently.
Spent to rent an apartment in New York City. When I was apartment hunting, I decided to stay at an Airbnb, and that cost me $2,231 for a month. To mitigate the fact that I don't know anybody in the city, and also I didn't know how apartments in New York City worked, I decided to get a broker. Using a broker to rent an apartment is still a foreign concept to me. He did help me tour different apartments though. Once I found and applied for the apartment that I do have right now, here's the breakdown for that. So the rent and the security deposit came out to be $5,200, and the broker's fee was 12%. And if you don't want to do the math, the broker's fee was $3,769. So just to secure an apartment, I paid $8,969. And the total cost, which did not include moving in, actually starting my life at my apartment, was $11,200. And if anybody's doing this whole thing, I would say get clear on brokers and what they're out and stuff like that, and negotiate ahead of time, because that is a ridiculous amount of money. Coming from the Midwest and being used to those rent prices, this is just like
ourselves. There's not one U.S. state where working 40 hours a week is enough to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. That is sad. That is so ridiculously sad. And the other day I heard an elderly woman talking about these younger folks don't know what working hard is. As someone who had 3 jobs in college while being a full-time college student, y'all are really checked out with reality right now. Like, everything is too expensive. I went to the store the other day. 1 bottle of Sprite and a bag of Doritos. Guess how much? $5.50.
I was close. I actually said $6, which I guess, hey, 50 cents cheaper is better than $6, right?
For 1 bag of chips. The bag wasn't even huge. It was around like one of those dollar-sized bags. If you knew back in like 2010, those dollar-sized bags.
I swear to God, I be feeling so old sometimes when I go places and I see how expensive stuff is now. I remember when a big bag of chips was $1. I remember when a 24-ounce pop was $1. $1.29, $1.49. I remember those days. So when I go places now and a bag of chips is, $2.79, and then you got the pop is $2.49, sometimes $2.79, sometimes even $3. I really feel like that was a lifetime ago, and I really do miss those days. Like, I really feel for the kids growing up in this generation where everything is so expensive, and we didn't live like that.
It was one of those. And a regular 16-ounce Sprite. Imagine the prices of a 2-bedroom apartment. I think the lowest you can get is probably like $1,200.
Pure insanity. That's all I'm gonna say. If you did make it to the end of today's video, don't forget to go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss no content from me in the future. So with that being said, I'll see y'all in my next upload. Bye, y'all.